I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shooting Show, and certainly my lovely wife Heather here. We're so pleased to be here with you today, friends. And you could be watching our last program for a while. We don't know yet. Now, we still have our faith. And honestly, friends, this has been a fight that has been very difficult. As most of you who've watched this program, you understand. You know, right now is such a critical time in our place in history as Americans. You know, the people that do this project, there's just a few of us. There's Roy Scott, and certainly Heather has been a huge help this past year, and certainly is now. My mother, who is absolutely a real trooper. You know, she's going to be 85 this next month, actually. And we have a good friend, our good friend Jim Robinson, who is our editor, who's really has come on and has really made our program a lot nicer, has made our picture a lot nicer. We really appreciate his help too. He has the TV production company there in Shreveport, Louisiana. And friends, as far as putting the shows together and putting them on the air, and we also want to thank the good people with the uplink. Our satellite services have been superior. Our folks that uplink this project or send our tapes on the air, we certainly don't want to leave out them, because they have just been terrific. If there's been a problem like a couple of weeks ago when we got jammed, I told some callers this week, said, you know, if they were going to jam a show, they should have jammed last week when we had Michael News segment on there. And we did get some correspondence. We'll be talking a little later on in the program today about Michael News. You know, one soldier, one out of how many?
Out of 550. We had one soldier
that stood up and said, no, I'm not going to put on that United Nations uniform. Now, friends, this is a very, very important program. If you haven't started your tape machines, please do now. Please go ahead and go somewhere in your house when on the station break and find a tape if you can, because this is one you need to tape. We appreciate our good friends Ron DeLong and our good friend Frank Dean down in North Georgia. They're going to start a newsletter, and this could be very important. We're going to start a shooting show newsletter, and they're going to help us in putting it out and reaching you. And we figured out for right now our mailing costs, our actual cost of doing it for the moment, due to some donated paper and donated time, will be a cost of a subscription for a 12-month issue or 12-month subscription to our shooting show newsletter. Now we're signing people up for $10, because that'll cover the mailing cost and the paper, or just about do it for now. Now later on we may have to charge a little more for our newsletter, but this is something now, and we'll be putting our address and phone number up a little bit later. But we want to thank everyone and all those of you who have contributed. Realize, friends, that our program is mostly conservatives. Okay? Most conservatives don't contribute anything. You know, they just want to hold on to their money, and that's okay. I mean, they have, you know, some folks have money because they want to hold on to it. Others are afraid to contribute to our project, because we talked to someone here a few days ago that really had plenty of money, and he said, Johnny, I sure would like to help, but he was afraid. We still have our shooting show number 3, Dan Wesson, for sale. No, didn't have anybody that could buy it for $10,000, but it is still for sale, because friends, we have hit on something here that we think we can make this project fly. We believe we can, but we've got to have some operating capital to do it. And this is one way. You know, if some of those folks out there who would like to contribute but are afraid they'll get on a government list, hey, you could buy this gun. You're just buying a collectible gun. And if at some point in the future you would choose to sell it back to us, if we can make this project run, the project will be able to buy it back from you. So please think about it. This is one way. Time is short, friends. Time is very short. This could be our last shooting show program. Again, wanting to thank everyone who has contributed. Your money has not gone in vain. See, not that many people will contribute. If everybody, a friend of ours called from Connecticut earlier this week and said, Johnny, ask everybody who watches the show to send $1. Well, realize that this program reaches. There are 8 million satellite dishes out there, friends. Still are 8 million, somewhere around that number. And then we have a number of cable companies. We just have picked up some new cable companies around the country that we hear from, and that's very important because, you know, once people tune in and see our program about guns, they'll continue to watch. Because most of us, do you realize that just a handful of people in the media, a literal, compared to 80 million gun owners that we know about, it's a handful of people that want to disarm us. You know, this United Nations thing, friends, is real. Do you know that President Clinton has already signed an executive order? Have to dig it up, but he's already signed an executive order subordinating our military forces under United Nations command. You see, that's all the UN needs, is a real army. Guess who has the best military in the world, or the largest, the most people? Guess who does? Guess who does? Best equipped, the most capable military in the world. It's the United States. Do you realize that we're only one vote in the United Nations, but we as Americans have been paying 25% of their whole budget? And what they want to do, friends, they're very nervous about Americans having guns like this M1A that shoots a .308 size cartridge. They're very nervous about us having AR-15s. And honestly, do you know that in the cop killer legislation, you know how many people have been killed? You know how many police officers have been killed with the so-called armor-penetrating cop killer bullets? You know how many? Not one. Not one. You know, at least they could call them possible cop killer bullets. They could say that. I mean, police are killed most often with their own gun, but, you know, there's no such thing as a designated cop killer bullet. It's not there. But you know what, friends? They're nervous about us having guns like this because, you know, down at Waco, Texas, when David Koresh and his people were in a defensive mode, they ran the ATF back. They ran the government troops back because they had semi-automatic rifles. They couldn't just make a frontal assault, come in there and take over because those folks were armed. Now, I'm not arguing David Koresh's position here today. I know that what happened down there was wrong. It was wrong for the government to go in and kill and incinerate those people. It was wrong. If you can, get a copy of the movie, The Rules of Engagement, Waco, The Rules of Engagement, and you can get that from the American Freedom Network, our good friends up there that carry our radio show. You can get that movie from them, and it's not very expensive, out on $20 or $30 for what you get. And let's see, their number is 1-800-205-6245, I believe. So you can call the American Freedom Network there in Johnstown, Colorado. You can order a copy. And there's actual footage from the U.S. government, from their own cameras, that shows machine gun fire coming from the government troops going into an area in that so-called compound, an area in their church where the women and children were known to be. That's what we're up against. And it ought to make you mad. It ought to make you doggone just hard down angry, because somebody's got to get mad. We have to, if we're going to survive as a free country, we have to get angry. Now, true, it's not many of us here, that's true, but you realize how many homes we reach all over America. The only place on television you can get this kind of information, the only place. Let me show you something. Every week, and we have never seen anything like what is happening now. Every week, we get around 100 different articles from all over the country. And that's just what we receive on the anti-gun crusade. And we've got a handful of people that are doing this to us. Here's one. They're even going to England now. They had a little old lady, an 86-year-old lady, hard of hearing, surrounded by SWAT teams. She had a cap pistol and she was running the crows off her roof. And they brought a whole SWAT team, everybody absolutely terrified. But you know what? The English people, we have fought one revolution from England to get them to leave us alone. I wish they'd do it now.
And George Washington did it with only 5% of the population.
That's right, only 5% of the able-bodied population. Well, you know what, friends? A lot of us have relatives from other countries, and that's fine. You can talk about your heritage being English Americans or German Americans or Chinese Americans or African Americans. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait just a doggone minute. If you're here in the United States and you were born here or you are a naturalized American citizen, you are not an English American or a German American or Italian American or an African American. You're an American.
That's right.
You know, I thought we settled that about 100 and some odd years ago in the war between the states. I thought we did. We were all going to be Americans. Well, what's wrong with that? And these people who have sold us out in Washington, D.C., in New York City, these people who have sold us out, trying to make us a slave state of the United Nations, you know, they're going to get theirs. You know, I don't know. I don't know if they'll get it here or in the afterlife. I don't know. But, you know, I hope they're proud of what they have done to this country, because we're not. We as conservatives, freedom-loving, gun-owning Americans are not proud of the despicable things they have done to sell our country out. Bill Clinton is going to give the Chinese $120 million for shipbuilding technology. The Chinese, right now, a communist government, controls both ends of the Panama Canal. Now, this slime in Washington has done that, friends, and you can't get this information anywhere else on TV. Now, we have tried. You know, this is one reason when the Outhouse channel was threatening to take us off the air, I tried to reason with them. I said, you know what, friends? I said, wait. And at the Outhouse channel, I said, hey, guys, look, I've got everything I have in this project. I have mortgaged my home, and we finally made it run. Well, what'd they do? They said, we got him now. Boy, we got him now. So that's when they threatened if we didn't take all our political stuff off, that they were going to pull us off the air. Well, you know what? Somebody has got to stand up. We can't all be cowards.
No.
We can't all be cowards.
It's time to band together.
You know, there are people out there that are so afraid. That's what we as conservatives, you know, yes, we should get mad. Yes, it is an exciting time. We as Americans, as conservatives, we want to just go along. Well, let's just go along, and we're just going to, we'll try not to be noticed and keep our heads down. And I tell you what, I'm going to get me some PVC pipe, and I'm going to bury my guns out there in the yard and bury my ammunition. Guess what, friends? You think you're going to bury ammunition? Right now, the government has magnetic imaging helicopters that can fly over your yard, your home, and say, whoops, there it is, right there. You can't hide, friends. We can't run far enough. We can't hide deep enough. We're trying to make a point here. You know, Rush Limbaugh, who actually, old Rush is pretty darn good. He's had some things on this past week. You know, now the people, the liberal socialists who have way too much time on their hands, you know, now they're talking about coming against fat people, people that are overweight. Fat tax, yeah, fat tax. Just like they've done with tobacco, like they're trying to do with guns and ammunition. Can we get a grip on this lunacy and tell these people they've got to leave us alone? Where are the Republicans that promised us a so-called Republican revolution in 1994? Where are they? Newt Gingrich, where are you?
They have got a raise, and they're up there in Congress micromanaging our lives.
That's right. You know why they want to impeach Bill Clinton? You know why they're so scared too? And I don't know what Kenneth Starr's got. You know why? Because these congressmen and these senators have so many skeletons in their own closet that they're afraid that their own careers will be damaged if they come against Bill Clinton. Listen,
well, and they're afraid of getting a bullet in the head like Ron Brown.
Well, that's another little thing. You know, we came across some information this week, in fact, that came from someone who worked for the Joint Chiefs of Staff in Washington. This man has credentials that are impeccable.
That's right.
And he said that Ron Brown, you know, Ron Brown was going down. He said Ron Brown, who was really, he was no dummy. Ron said, I'm not going to fall on my sword for you people in the White House. because the Congress had made him a deal to hear his story. He was going to come clean. Ron Brown had done a lot of corrupt things and worked with the administration, the current administration, done a lot of corrupt things. And hey, Ron Brown was going to sing, friends. They could not let Ron Brown live. Ron Brown had what appears to be a bullet hole in his head. You know, all those x-rays have vanished except for one copy that one of the doctors got out of the hospital with. You know, one of their little dirty tricks that they have, and a lot of military people, I've mentioned this several people this week, they said, oh yeah, they're aware of this. This is not some pipe dream. You know, they worry about us having guns. Well, let me tell you what the government's got. They've got a little gun that shoots a dry ice bullet, as we understand it. It fires with compressed air. It's an assassination tool. You think that our own government does not have black operations groups that work in there in the White House or in the basement or wherever there? You think they don't? They've got a little gun that uses a dry ice bullet. They shoot somebody with it and the dry ice evaporates. There's no trace of a bullet. Got a nice hole there, got a dead body. This is the sort of thing that is going on, friends. And I want to get back to Rush Limbaugh. You know, literally, the liberal socialist ran Rush's TV show off. His TV show was pretty darn good. I used to enjoy watching it. They ran him off the air. You know why? Because the liberal socialists have loud voices. They don't care. They're not logical anyway. They'll go ahead and yell and scream and cause all the trouble they can. We have some of those folks that watch our program. And we know you're out there. That's fine because they try and cause trouble. But you know what? We're stronger than they are. We have been. The conservatives, the people that still believe in God and country and freedom, have got to stand up and be heard, because you know what? If we don't do it now, friends, if we don't stand now and start making a difference, there won't be a time in the future, hey, it's going to be over with. Right now, we still have our personally owned firearms. You know why they're so afraid of the full metal jacket bullets, these things?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, you know why they're so scared is because the full metal jacket ammunition can penetrate. They don't have just Kevlar vests now, friends. They've got Kevlar bodysuits. Bodysuits. So, and pistol ammunition won't go through it. And when they send their brown shirt or their blue shirts, their blue United Nations shirts around to do damage, guess what? If we tried to stand against a police state, all we've got is shotguns and with shot or handguns. Guess what? Those Kevlar bodysuits, those bulletproof bodysuits, not going to make any difference. But you know what? They're afraid of us having, because they're doing the takeover. And they know that a bullet like this 308 or a 223, full metal jacket, will zip right on through.
It'll penetrate.
It'll penetrate their Kevlar bodysuits. Now wait a minute, friends. This is not insanity. We're talking. These are facts. These are facts. That's why we have tried so hard to stay on. And those of you out there that are afraid, you know, I hope maybe you can live with your children, or maybe in your own life, because this thing is it's not 10 years down the road. It's not 20 years down the road.
It's here.
It's here now.
It's now.
These people, you know, we have foreign police officers in this country riding around on police exchange deals.
That's right.
We got foreign police, friends.
And they're writing tickets to the citizens of the United States.
Writing tickets.
They're here. They're
here in different places in the country. We have documented evidence. They're already here writing tickets in the United States. It's an exchange program. We're going to exchange. We're going to bring their policemen over here. We're going to bring, we're going to send our policemen over there, and it will all have goodwill. Wait, whoa. Why do we need foreign police here that don't understand our Constitution, that don't care about our Constitution? They're breaking down the international barriers.
That's right.
They're breaking down the national barriers of countries, trying to make us all one big, happy, socialist world. Well, you know what, friends? Look what happened over in China a few years ago, Tiananmen Square. You had all those people that have been oppressed for years and years, but they had an idea of this commodity called freedom. And a lot of them were rolled over by tanks, gave their lives for an idea, a concept of freedom. That's the same thing that people did here on these United States shores in 1776. And no, they didn't have an advantage. George Washington had, like you said, 5% or less
5%.
of the able-bodied men. Let me tell you what. This is that Israeli Model 5000, 1911, all forging, doggone good gun. Perhaps performed a lot better than stuff that cost 2 and 3 times as much. This little gun works. It's one of the best 1911s I've ever seen. You know what? I'm proud that we have an Israeli product, because you know what? Netanyahu is standing up now to Bill Clinton. They're standing up. They're trying to hold on to their nation of Israel. And those folks, you know, they're standing up for us. They're doing more for us in the Mideast than we're doing for them. Now that's true, and I'm proud that we can help these people.
They're doing more for us than Clinton is doing for us.
Oh, absolutely, because they're standing up, saying, no, we're not going to give away this land. We're not going to give our country away because you got an idiot in Washington who's telling them to do it. And they're standing firm. At least, friends, they're a tiny country over there that's standing firm. And these are terrific guns. This little 1911 is absolutely terrific. It's a forging, and I'm proud that we can have one of their products on our show. You know what? I can't think of a better combination. Georgia Arms ammunition and this great Israeli Model 5000 and one of Tim's 1919 Brownings on a tripod. I can't think of just a better package someone should have at their home, to tell you the truth.
Sounds good to me.
Listen to this, friends. This is important. When Israel became a nation in 1948, realized a tiny country, they had 18,000 men in all of Israel, 1948. 18,000 men. Not that many. Not that many. The little town of Mendon is almost that big.
Yep.
Right up above us here. 18,000 men. They only had 10,000 rifles total. All they had, a lot of them were clunkers, military surplus, just old junkers. They had 10,000 rifles. On the day that Israel became a nation again, 7 Arab countries declared war on them with millions of Arabs. 7 Arab countries declared war that day. And you know what? Israel won because they were right. They stood for what they believed in.
They were fighting for their dirt.
You know, that's right.
It's as simple as it
gets. And here
gets.
in this great country, we need to take an example here. You know, you may feel like you're the only one in your town or wherever. You're not. But you can inspire others. If we go off the air, please let these words have some effect. And I hope we won't. If we can get some help this next week, I hope we don't go off the air. But if we do, please carry these words forward. You can make a difference. All you have to do is do what you can. Nobody's asking any one person to whip the whole United Nations New World Order by themselves. No one's asking that. But you can do what you can. If you can contribute and you choose not to, and we go off there. See, this is one way that you can make a difference by helping us to stay on the air. That's right. You can make a difference. You can go down and vote. A lot of the elections are rigged. You can't necessarily make a difference. Sometimes you can't, different places. You know, you can write letters to congressmen that don't hear it. But you know what? You can make a difference by writing a check to the shooting show. You can help us stay on air, because you know what, friends? If we're dangerous enough for them to jam like they did a couple of weeks ago,
that's right.
Somebody did. If we're dangerous enough by simply telling the truth, you know, whoa, we must be having an effect.
That's right.
And those 5 and 10 and 25 and 50 and $100 checks make a huge difference.
They make a huge difference. We do appreciate the donations that we've received to keep the program on the air. And I'd like to say something about how hard my husband has worked. I've only been involved in the project for less than a year, but Johnny has really worked hard. He's lost sleep. He's done everything he can to make a difference in our lives, your lives, the lives of every citizen in the United States, because we feel it's so important to protect our freedom. If any of you can send in contributions and help us stay on the air and bring you the message and to save the United States. That's what
see, we're doing our part. You know, we're doing our part because there are others out there struggling, trying to do their part. We're bringing the truth about guns and ammunition and legislation here on television. That's what we're about. In fact, you know, and probably somewhere here we'll probably have needed to take a station break. But anyway, this is important because this could be our last show. And it's so important. Let's go back and look at just some of the stuff we've done here on the shooting show. Let's look back. And I think you'll enjoy that. We'll just have some clips here, some things that we have done that we broadcast. Let's do that now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out here at the firepower demonstration at the range for the Soldier of Fortune Convention. A lot of interesting things out today. Hope you enjoy it. A lot of people are asking whether they should buy a small semi-automatic or a small revolver for personal protection. Well, this is a Taurus PT-908 in 9mm, and this is, of course, the great Smith & Wesson Chief Special in stainless version of Model 60.
We have a Weaver stance, and we also teach the back of the hands to the back of the hands, which is of the Weaver style. When you bring the gun up, you hold it and you turn the light on with the strongest finger.
Stay tuned for more of the shooting show after these important messages.
I'll tell you what, looking at those clips, you know, we're in hundreds of shows now. And we didn't have a big conglomerate doing it. We've done it with some of your help out there and our great sponsors with their help. But we need 2 or 3 more sponsors. We need 2 or 3 more that will be a regular sponsor. We need a number of people in the support group, or just 2 or 3 more sponsors. And we'll be able to make it, friends. We'll be able to make it. We need your help. If you can help us, please. Please, this week, time is very short. If you can buy our shooting show number 3, or if you can, whatever you can do to help us, if you will, now's the time. You can send to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowlands Road in Beverly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. Our phone number, 318-377-5189. Friends, let's do what we can. You know, they want to put us back to 22s, and you know, 22s are great learning tools. I got my grandfather's old gun here from about 1920, and it still works. But in fact, Arlen, you want to put on your...
I have my earplugs.
You got your earplugs in, okay.
Thank you.
And let's see what, let's see the 22 in action. Watch our water bottle there on the left, friend. You know, they're even afraid of 22s. Notice you didn't see a real terrific reaction, but you know what? We still have these. And let's see what a 308 does. A semi-automatic repeating rifle, that versions of which have been available for about 100 years now. See if we can tell the difference. You know what, friends? That difference is the difference our television project can make. You know, the NRA and all, they're doing their printed stuff, which is fine. We need the printed word. Remember our newsletter here on the program. It's very important because you can stay in touch with us through our newsletter. You can write to our standard address if you want to get it on our mailing list, and $10 a year for now. But you know, that's the difference in hitting those 2 water bottles, because what we're doing, all the printed media in the world, is not enough. We've got to reach people on TV. That's why we're here. That's why our project has had so much controversy from the industry folks, from the anti-gun people, because we're telling the truth. And they see it. The anti-gun people see us as so dangerous. They have tried over and over to destroy our project. Please, let's don't let them succeed. Please, please, help the shooting show stay on the air. Let's go on with our program.
Stay tuned for more of the shooting show after these important messages.
The Shooting Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nodular bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
And friends, remember that Georgia Arms has all kinds of the best defensive ammunition available, but we do want to mention our 41 Magnum Defense Special. They do have it in stock. If you have a 41 Magnum that you want to use for personal defense, well, this is a terrific round. You can do that by calling 1-800-624-6861. Ask for a free catalog, free phone call, free catalog, and please tell them you saw it here on our show.
Now, friends, here it is. This is the IAI Model 5000 semi-automatic pistol, 1911 commander-sized, all-forged pistol from the good folks there in Houston, Texas, IAI. Let's see it in action. Friends, here it is up close. This is the same gun you have seen on the program from Israel Arms International under the Gall name, but what they want to do is make something a little easier to say, so we have a more Americanized name. You can see all the special features this gun has. The forward serrations on the slide, easy to see, front sight that won't come out, easy to see 3-dot sights, the custom finger groove grip, the beaver tail grip safety with the extension here, so you'll be sure and get a proper grip so the gun will fire. All kinds of extras we would not normally expect to see on a service type gun. An extended magazine release here, a lightweight trigger, serrations on the trigger guard for those who prefer to shoot like so. It's really going to keep the gun from walking around there in your hand. You have an extended slide stop, an extended safety. Really terrific guns, all forging from the good people at IAI in Houston, Texas. These are commander-sized semi-automatic pistols with all the bells and whistles at some fantastic pricing. Friends, these guns are going to retail under $500. Let's see it in action. All 1911 parts will interchange. Absolutely superior function, excellent accuracy for a service grade pistol, absolutely, from the good folks at IAI.
Remember, the Model 5000 is available in the great all-American caliber 45 ACP. It has the best price, it's the best product, all the bells and whistles, is available in two-tone and blue. For information, give them a call, 1-800-599-2561. Again, 1-800-599-2561, and be sure and tell them that you saw it on our show. And you know, these days when worldwide violence and terror are on the rise, being prepared is the key for survival. Instinctive Shooting International can help using the Israeli technique. They're offering classes there in Houston for qualified civilians and law enforcement personnel. They can also send trainers throughout the United States. For information, give them a call, 1-800-599-2561. Instinctive Shooting International, again, 1-800-599-2561.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're so appreciative of you joining us here today. You recognize my good friend Leroy Scott here, the good judge on our shooting show. We don't have enough good judges. We don't. I do want to mention we got this letter in on Michael New, and we're very much in support of what Michael New is going through, and we're very hopeful that they can prevail. I don't know. I'll give you their mailing address, and I'll have to look for it. If I can find a mailing address, see while I'm doing this. You know, friends, we are at a pivotal point, and we've been here before, and each time there's been several times that Judge and I and folks on this project have laid out our situation for you. You know, we know that there are folks out there that could afford to help us, but they're afraid to. They're afraid that a check written to the shooting show is going to some way bring on an IRS audit or bring on the wrath of the federal government. Well, you know what, friends? Those of you who didn't do what you could when you could, one day down the road, maybe you'll be able to look back and when you're a happy member of the New World Order population, maybe you'll say, you know, well, maybe then we should have done more. Well, in so many instances, people wonder, well, I can't do anything by myself. Here's one thing you can do by yourself. You don't require any help. You don't require a town meeting to do this. If you can contribute some money to the shooting show to help us stay on the air. I have stacks and stacks of anti-gun news from all over the country. Judge, have you ever seen an attack on the Second Amendment as we're seeing now? You ever seen anything like this?
Nothing to this extent, Johnny.
It is fantastic. And one other little thing I want to bring out.
This is just 1 week.
Well, it's not even not even the whole week. It's just the last couple of days this has come in. You know, right now the World Court ordered Madeleine Albright and the Washington staff of the United Nations, the Washington office of the United Nations, to stay this execution of this Paraguayan convicted murderer. They didn't even argue that he did it, but they were ordered. Now, thank goodness for the governor of Virginia, who stood up and said, no, we don't answer to the UN yet. We don't answer to the World Court yet. Said no, and I am so proud that the man had the courage to stand up to this mess that is trying to overrun us, friends. You know, people keep talking about, here's our shooting show number 3 guns. The Schumer and the anti-gun people celebrate, talk about how dangerous these guns are. Well, guess what, friends? According to the newspaper, over 100,000 people a year are killed by medicine that they're taking by prescription, by reactions. 100,000 people a year. Ralph Nader says that doctors kill 300,000 people a year by mistreatment. And Ralph Nader said that. Now that's Ralph's statement. Not, I'm getting that from there. That's one of the left types. So wait a minute. Guns prevent crime, prevent assaults, stop attacks on law-abiding citizens 2.5 million times a year. And these people who want to disarm us, want to take away our means of self-defense, sure enough, friends, this is not a joke. This is not the rehearsal. This is it. This is it. You can make a difference by helping us to stay on the air. Leroy Scott has been a huge help to our project. We wouldn't be here today without the judge's help, without any of us that have helped. Our sponsors, that Georgia Arms, Tim with NWI, certainly now the Israeli IAI, have been very supportive, and a number of others over the years, and our support group. We wouldn't be here today. It's a joint effort. We have some things we've come up with that we believe we can make this project work. We come up with a little angle that we think will make it work. We've got to have some operating capital to do it. I am out of operating capital. I mean, we're out. But thanks to your contributions, that's how we're here today. And I don't know if we'll be able to be on next week. I flatly don't know as of today. But we hope that we can continue. This information has to go out. Look at the assault
the NRA is under right now. Look at the controversy, the fighting that's going on right now inside the NRA. You can't be effective if you're squabbling among yourselves. Judge, you know, I can't. You think some of the anti-gun people, they're laughing themselves silly watching that, aren't they?
Well, I don't know. I think they're plenty concerned about it.
Well, the anti-gun people are just tickled to death that the NRA is in a big internal squabble, wouldn't you say?
Well, of course, you know that even in a church, there are going to be two different factions, neither one of whom disbelieve in the Almighty, but they are factions, and it's not in any strange way that there's some factions in the NRA. But that doesn't mean that either of the factions are in favor of abolishing the Second Amendment, are not affording the right to keep and bear arms. It just happens to be a game of personalities between two different groups of people. Mm-hmm. And this happens in churches, it happens in fraternal societies, it happens in the Elks, it happens in the any society.
Well, our point is we need the NRA.
I don't even agree with you on everything, Johnny. Just most things.
That's true. But you know, we hope they can work it out. The problem is that the efforts by groups like this in the past have not been enough. They're helpful. But that's why we support Gun Owners of America. That's why we're in favor of the Second Amendment Foundation, every gun owners group. But tell you what, friends, what we've got to have the truth on firearms on television. You know, there are hunting shows out there. There are even a couple of gun shows that came after our project. One's on a network, and one is a couple of places around. But you know what? The instant that one of those network programs start talking about some of this anti-gun, some of this legislation going on, they'll be jerked off the air so quick. They'll wonder what happened to them. They can't. They'll be taken off the air. But see, we buy our own TV time. And so we can't be forced off by somebody in an office somewhere. You know, their latest tactic, of course, is trying to jam our TV broadcast. But hey, you know, there's even a way around that. We can just keep broadcasting. You know, they can't jam them all. They can't jam them all. What we've got to have, friends, we got to have some ammunition. We're out of ammunition here, and that ammunition is in the form of dollars. We need your help. I don't know, you know, I can't predict the weather tomorrow, and of course neither can the weatherman half the time. But we're not ready to give up. We just need some help now. That's why we still have our number 3, our shooting show number 3 for sale. It is worth $10,000. I know it's worth $10,000 because if our project gets up and running, we'll be able to buy it back from you. So I think it's worth $10,000. This is number 3, the Dan Wesson Shootin' Show 41 Magnum. Only 9 of these guns exist. This is the one that we've made our long-distance shots, 200 yards on water bottles and things with a 4-inch revolver. You've got to have an accurate gun to do that, friends. So if you can, please call me if you'd be interested in our Shootin' Show revolver. Whatever it takes, friends, whatever it takes. We're not ready to give up. This thing is too important to let go.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Now, friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history.
They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today, NWI, for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod. But these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001.
Now, friends, I want to remind you that you're looking at an endangered species here, not the pretty girl Tina, but the 1919 Browning machine gun conversions. We flatly do not know how long these guns are going to be available. I would not put it off. They're still affordable. They also have a 50 Browning version available. The great 50 Browning caliber, along with discount price 50 Browning ammunition. So trust me on this one, they will not be around forever. If I wanted one of these, and I think most of us would like to have at least one, you can give Tim out there a call, area 503-429-5001. Again, area 503-429-5001. And please, please tell them you saw it here on our show. And we want to remind you about our fluid film, and we want to give a special note of thanks to our good friend Bill Lewis, who introduced us to fluid film and is handling our orders for us down there in Ackworth, Georgia. Bill, we really do appreciate your assistance. You have helped us remain on the air. Friends, this fluid film is the best lubricant any of us have ever seen. It's good on your guns, on your shoes, on your holster, on your battery terminals, on your bicycle chain, on your motorcycle chain. It's absolutely a phenomenal product. We've never seen anything like it. You can get 2 large cans of fluid film for only $19.95. That's 2 11 3/4 ounce cans. You can send to the shooting show at our standard address, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly. And again, our most sincere thanks to our good friend Bill Lewis, who really has been a good friend and helped us stay on the air. And heck, if you get some fluid film, trust me, you will not be disappointed. You know, Judge, I've been trying to get loans for the program. I've been talking to everybody in the country I could, and I've been faced with this. A lot of people that I've talked to are simply afraid. There was a man out west that said he'd like to help us, and he really admired what we were doing, but he was afraid that the federal government might come after him if he helped us. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that if he's got something to hide from the federal government, then that's perhaps a wise thing to do. I don't have anything to hide from the federal government, and therefore I'm free to speak my mind and speak what I think, and particularly what I know to be the law. If there's somebody that's worried about money, just send cash. That'll do it.
Or a cashier's check. Something.
Well, that might be traced. Just send cash.
That's an idea. Put it in a couple of wrapped in aluminum foil, or send a FedEx package or something.
Send a FedEx package, and there you are.
That's true. That's an idea. You know, I mean, it's just an idea. We're not telling anybody to send cash, but they could. I mean, someone possibly could. Friends, this is not a fair fight. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not a fair fight. And we're looking at everything. And see, the problem is that our folks, our conservatives, that some of us have nice homes and plenty of nice stuff, and we don't want to upset the apple cart. But let me tell you what, the iceberg has already hit the boat. If we don't take note now and start closing some doors down there, it's going to sink. You know, after the Titanic was hit, heck, the band played on for a while. And that's what we have now. We're going about our normal lives. I told the example on the radio show last Sunday. We went to a fish fry over here a week or so ago, and locally, and no one there. Everybody was a nice, decent person in the community, and they talked about fishing. They talked about hunting a little bit. Talked about the weather. You know, not one person said anything about this strangling tax structure, what's happening with our guns. Not one person. Everybody's trying to ignore it and deny it. Hey, friends, this can't be denied. It cannot be ignored.
Too many people believe it can't happen here.
That's it. They believe. Don't you think those good folks in Germany never believed that it could possibly happen to them? What about old Pol Pot killed 2 million of his own people in pursuit of a paradise?
That was out of a population of only about 10 or 15 million.
Sure enough.
So that's a pretty healthy cut.
Well, Mao Zedong killed 60 million plus of his own people, saying he was going to give them a better deal. You know, we're going to have paradise here, friends, and I don't think they've got paradise today. The Russians killed 20 million of their own people under the socialist ideal. A lot of our folks think it can't happen here when our Constitution right now is being overrun.
Well, it's being overrun, yeah. Listen to this. The Supreme Court has asked the Clinton administration for its legal opinion of a request to halt the execution next week of the Paraguayan national so it can review his case. Now, the Clinton administration's idea of this is to go to the United Nations, and this is ridiculous. I'm surprised the Supreme Court even thought about such a thing.
That's where we are, friends. That's where we are. Will you please, if you can, for those of you who have contributed, we want to give you our deepest, most heartfelt thanks. This is no joke, because that's how we're here today. If you can help us to stay on the air. We don't need a vast amount of help. We need about $10,000 quickly. You know, like we said earlier, if everybody watched this show just sent $1, we'd have more money than we knew what to do with. But most people won't. Most people won't. Will you please help us stay on the air? We haven't quit. The only way we're going to go off is if we're forced off, you know. So please do what you can. The shooting show, send whatever you can. Good idea about cash, Judge. If somebody's afraid that they'll be traced back, hey, send cash. Send a FedEx package. Send to whatever you can to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. If you want to call and talk to us about joining our support group or sponsoring our show, you can call us 318-377-5189. Please, friends, this is, you know, we've been saying this for a while because it's been getting close. We need your help. We think we can make this thing run if we just have some operating capital.
Well, Johnny, I rather imagine you would agree that anybody that just wants to send cash, that you wouldn't even keep their home address.
Bet I wouldn't. Bet I wouldn't. You know, we'd have to report his income, but it just showed up. Isn't that amazing?
Well, we got expenses that'll offset income.
I promise you we do. Be a long time before we have to pay any taxes on this project. So, okay, friends, all I can say is I don't know if we'll see you next week or not. I hope we do. I hope so. We're counting on you. You can certainly have been able to count on us, and now we're counting on you.
Friends, we want to mention the folks in our support group. We have our fine folks down in Denham Springs, Louisiana with Custom Leather Work and Saddlery, Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie. They do all kinds of leather work. Their number is area 504-667-9225. We have the folks at Flying Horse Enterprises. They are the people that have the terrific artwork there on the internet. You can find them at www.flyinghorse.net. Flying Horse Enterprises there. Also, Camouflage Technologies. They paint gun stocks, a very unique treatment they do for gun stocks there. You can give them a call at area 909-674-6488. Our good friend Dennis Crocker in South Carolina, he is a firearms trainer authorized to go throughout South Carolina. His number is area 864-587-8722. And we want to mention Holland Guard Service, our good friend Wayne Bearden down there in Meridian, Mississippi. They do all kinds of security work in and around Meridian, Mississippi. You can give them a call at area 601-644-3950. And our good friend Bruce Warren with BC Armory there in East Leroy, Michigan. Bruce does all kinds of custom work on semi-automatic and revolvers, semi-automatic handguns, that is, and revolvers. You can give him a call at area 616 729-5508. And we want to remember our good friends at Clark Custom Guns. They've certainly been supporters the entire time on this project. We still look forward, hopefully, we can get to our Fun Gun Weekend on May 16th and 17th. Hey, we haven't given up yet, friends. We hope to go to Clark's and have that great weekend. We hope we can stay on the air. With your help, we can. Of course, you can find out about Clark Custom Guns products at area 318-949-9884. And now, friends, we're going to close out today's program by watching Heather get some handgun instruction from our good friend Harold Terry.
And have this hand right on top of there and bring it straight up and out. Focusing your eye on this front sight. The rear sight is fuzzy, and you're looking directly at the center of mass. And we call this right here is the center of mass. But so many people will point a gun, a revolver, out at someone saying, "Get away from me, get away from me," and they grab the gun, and I don't have to
Knock
turn
it out of the hand.
Oh, I could do a lot to it. If I got it to this point here, what would be my best bet? Kick you right in the knee.
I would definitely be disadvantaged.
See, this is called a reactionary gap. Anytime you let someone get within your reactionary gap, it's 4 to 6 feet, I have as much chance to get that gun as you do. And if you're hanging it down to your side, that's the worst place to have it.
Yeah, shoot my toes off.
Yes, right. You can hang it in right there. That's the stable. A person knows what you're doing. You don't have to point right at me. Maybe have it a little to the side, but they know you know what you're doing. If you've got it hanging down to the side, you got it stuck out like they see that shake in there.
Well, not only that, but if it's down here at my side, it's that much more time I have to react to them advancing.
That's right. So when I come up to you, and the biggest trick of all is say, I have a street map here, and what I'd like you to show me this street there. You say, get away from here. Now take the other hand and hold it out toward me. No, just the other hand empty. Hold it out. Now that's the hand that you want to point at. That hand will block me from getting to you. All right? Mm-hmm. This hand is what you would use. Stop, get back, go away, and you want to speak very loudly. Now when you start to back away, just slide your feet. Don't now slide them on. Slide them on. Keep that same stance. Just slide them on back. Never pick your feet up when you walk when you're trying to back out, because you might step in a hole or off the ditch or something like that. Slide your feet. That's the way you're doing. Have that hand up. Now what are you doing?